Okay. Listen. It's time. It's time to talk some FIFA. The World Cup is here. Adelia is here to guide us through the World Cup discussion. You want to be informed.
It's only the biggest event in the world.
I can see some of you right now when you're we're talking soccer. Listen, because I've seen this. I see it every 4 years. We roll our eyes and we don't want to talk about soccer. But then when the World Cup is here, you want to know what's going on and you want to sound like you know what's going on. You don't want to sound like a casual, but you have no idea what's going on. And you sound like the very people that you hate talking to about football that don't know what they're talking about.
I'll tell you
don't be that person.
I'll tell you what.
Okay.
Only in the summer every 4 years, we're not talking about soccer. We're talking about football. Okay.
Yes.
We're talking football.
And listen, you can't not like it because the energy from those crowds is something different.
Whether you enjoy watching soccer or not, the World Cup is an unbelievable event.
It's
not the way it's put on, but on the field and the crowds, it's a disaster otherwise. But yes, if Adelia, are you ready?
My bad. Second biggest event. The one that can show is the biggest.
My apologies.
Nitro.
Sorry.
Please forgive us.
I didn't know.
Well, we got a super chat from Kobe. Let's read the super chat. Kobe says, he says, Stephen A. Smith loves his life in the house. Leave him alone. Facts.
You know what though, Kobe? You know what though? You have a point, except he won't leave us alone.
Right.
If he would leave us alone, nobody would ever say anything about Stephen A. Smith.
It's weird, right? Because Stephen A. Smith will tell you that out of his mouth. But then if you repeat what he said, he wants to fight you if you're black. All right. Adelia, come on up. All right. Oh, yeah.
That's not
Here we go.
one. There we go.
That's it. There's the right one.
Okay. Tell us what we need to know about the World Cup. Has it started already? Or are we still
tomorrow?
It starts tomorrow. Noon Pacific, 3 Eastern is the first game. It's Mexico versus South Africa, which ironically enough is the same first game as it was in 2010 when the World Cup was in South Africa. And both teams are coached by the same guy they were coached by 16 years ago. I have yet to decide if that is a good thing or a bad thing for either team. Probably a good thing for South Africa. Not sure about Mexico. Here, let me bring this up. We got the World Cup groups. Group A is the one that kicks off tomorrow. Mexico kicking off the tournament at the Stadio Azteca. The home crowd will probably be deafening.
Okay.
They will be very, very up for that game. The other group tomorrow is Korea Republic versus Czechia. Those are their names according to FIFA. We know them as South Korea and the Czech Republic, most likely. Korea has a very good chance in this group to finish second. They are a very technically sharp side that can hang with anyone. They made the quarterfinals 4 years ago. Czechia is back in the World Cup for the first time since 2006. They missed 2010, 2014, and 2018. Not since 2006. They were there 4 years ago, but they'd missed 2010, 2014, and 2018, which was a lot. That's Group A. That starts tomorrow. Group B also starts on Friday. Canada versus Bosnia and Herzegovina. Bosnia, interesting squad because they beat Italy to get here. Italy, who won the World Cup in 2006, went out in the group stage in 2010 and has now missed 3 straight World Cups.
Now, let me ask you about Italy.
Yeah.
I heard, is it true that Italy and Trump were trying to find a way to kick Iran out of the World Cup and have them take Iran's place?
I don't know if that was necessarily something Italy was doing, but it was a lot of rumors going around when the war with Iran started that Trump wanted to get them out of the World Cup, and that the first team that everybody thought they would replace Iran would be Italy. Italy very quickly came out and said, no, we're not doing that.
Okay.
So Trump, he's causing a lot of problems for this World Cup. He's denying visas to officials. He denied a visa to a Somali referee the other day because they said he's got ties to terrorist groups that FIFA said was news to them. He said the Somali referee is back in Somalia now and got a hero's welcome, even though he didn't do anything at the World Cup.
Yeah. And it was funny because somebody had they're playing these videos like they're juxtaposing how all these foreign teams that are coming into the United States are being welcomed. They're being welcomed on the tarmac by security, and they're being strip searched and everything like that, right? Yeah. Way to welcome, visiting teams and whatnot. Versus how they're being welcomed in Mexico with mariachi bands and dancing as they get them off the bus, and partying. America is a terrible, terrible place.
It is. It unfortunately is now. But Canada starts on Friday at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern against Bosnia. They're playing their home games in Toronto and Vancouver as the co-host, because this World Cup is co-hosted by America, Canada, and Mexico. Most of the games are in America, but there are also a lot of games in Canada and Mexico. Bosnia is first time back in the World Cup since 2014. The other two teams in this group are Switzerland and Qatar. Qatar went winless on home soil in 2022. Switzerland is the highest ranked team in the group, expected to win the group, and is one of the most proven tournament sides in world football. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that group plays out. And then also on Friday at 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern, the U.S. starts their World Cup against Paraguay. It's at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. This has been the subject of a lot of debate because the ticket costs are absurd. I don't believe this game's sold out yet either. Paraguay's a very strong defensive side, and they'll pose a bit of a challenge, but I expect the U.S. to win that game because they'll be able to score more goals than Paraguay will be. Turkey hadn't qualified since 2002 when they went all the way to the semifinals and finished third. They're capable of making a deep run and will be the biggest challenger to the U.S. in their group. And Australia is also in this group. And it's going to be very interesting to see how these groups play out, because not only do the top two teams in the groups make it through, but 8 of the 12 third place teams also make it through, because this is the first World Cup with 48 teams. And so there's a round of 32. So technically only 16 teams are going home after the group stage.
Okay. So 48 teams in the World Cup?
48 teams in the World Cup.
Okay.
A lot of people have complained about this, saying there's too many teams, and that some of the smaller nations that qualified, which we'll get to in a minute, shouldn't be here because they are only here because they expanded the teams. But a lot of those smaller nations won their qualifying groups, earned their way here. It's teams like Turkey, it's teams like Italy would have been, Bosnia, that made their way through playoffs to get into the World Cup, and that would only have been in playoffs. Sweden's another one that would only have been in playoffs because they expanded the World Cup. So
yeah, I was gonna say, like, you can try to make that argument if you want, but Italy didn't make it. So
yeah,
everybody has to earn their way into the World Cup.
Yeah. Yes, each team gets 3 games in the first round. So they'll play each of their opponents in the group. The US will play Paraguay first, then Australia, and then finish against Turkey, which again is the name of the country and the name FIFA goes by. So expect to hear that name a lot more than Turkey over the next few weeks. This will be a really competitive group. The US's group, they got the hardest of the host nation groups, but I expect the US to come out of it. And then Group C, we skipped over because for some reason the host nation groups are A, B, and D. Group C is Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, and Scotland. You would think Brazil is the favorite in this group, but Morocco made the semifinals in 2022 and are the reigning AFCON champions, even though they technically lost that match to Senegal. We talked about that on the overtime show.
Yes.
Scotland is back at the World Cup for the first time in 28 years, and their opener is against Haiti, who are making their first World Cup appearance in a long, long time. So this is one of the most intriguing early matches. The Haitian fans and the Scottish fans in the same stadium should be pretty interesting. Morocco opens against Brazil. That's one of the biggest games of the group stage, if you ask me. And then Group E, Germany, Curacao, Cote d'Ivoire, which is what they call Ivory Coast, and Ecuador. Germany has something to prove because they went out in the group stage in 2022. They've got a younger squad. They should be pretty formidable. Curacao is a Caribbean island that has just a population of 155,000 people. They qualified on their own merit to make them the smallest nation by population to ever reach a World Cup finals. That's going to be a fun match. Ivory Coast is a very fun team to watch, and Ecuador is one of the best defensive teams in the world, if not the best. I'd consider Ecuador a dark horse for when they make it to the knockout rounds, because I expect Germany, Ivory Coast, and Ecuador to all somehow find a way out of this group. And then Group F, Netherlands, Japan, Sweden, and Tunisia. The Netherlands is loaded with a lot of talent. They went out the quarterfinals in 2022 after knocking out the US in the round of 16 in 2022. They're always one of the favorites to advance into the knockout stages. Japan is consistently dangerous. They've reached the round of 16 in 4 of their last 5 World Cups. Tunisia has one of the most exciting young African midfielders in the game in Hannibal, and Sweden needed the playoffs. His
name is Hannibal?
His name is Hannibal.
Is he like a one-name person, or?
I believe there's more to his name, but I don't. I just wrote down Hannibal because that's what I know him as. And Sweden returns after missing the last World Cup. They've got a couple of really good strikers, but their defense, it leaves some. I believe it's Hannibal Medri, Urban,
and not Hannibal Lecter.
Not Hannibal Lecter. No. Sweden needed the playoffs to get to the World Cup because they were god awful in qualifying. So it remains to be seen which version of Sweden shows up here. The version that came through the playoffs to qualify, or the version that showed up in actual qualifying. Group G is Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. Belgium's golden generation is starting to age out. The squad still features Kevin De Bruyne, who's one of the world's best midfielders. And they will be dangerous for anyone who plays them. Mohamed Salah leads Egypt into their first World Cup since 2018. He has enormous weight on his shoulders because there's a lot of national expectation in Egypt. Iran's participation is interesting because by FIFA's recommendation, they're set up their training camp in Tijuana. It was supposed to be in Tucson. They play all of their games in the U.S. They have not been given visas for 14 of their key officials, and it's just it's gonna be really interesting to see what kind of reaction they get. A lot of the press for the Iranian team hasn't been allowed in. A lot of the fans have not been allowed in. All of this a result of the war going on that Trump started. And New Zealand is Oceania's only representative in the World Cup. They won the Oceania qualifying. They have a really good striker named Chris Wood who plays at Nottingham Forest, but I don't know too much about the rest of their team. Group H is Spain, Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay. Cape Verde was the smallest nation to ever reach a men's World Cup until Curacao qualified a month after they did. Spain are the highest ranked team in the tournament. They're the reigning European champions. They have an 18-year-old superstar, Lamine Yamal, who is recovered from a hamstring injury that caused him to miss the end of his club season. And they're going to have a interesting test in their first match because their first match is against Cape Verde. So Cape Verde came out of African qualifying. They won their qualifying group. It's the smallest African nation to ever qualify for a World Cup. And their debut is really one of the most feel-good stories of the whole tournament. Saudi Arabia and Uruguay are also in this group. Saudi Arabia can always cause an upset. They beat Argentina in the first match in 2022. Argentina went on to win the World Cup 4 years ago. And the Uruguayans are back. They are very good structurally and defensively and tactically. So they'll be an interesting team there. Group I, France, Senegal, Iraq, and Norway. France is one of the title contenders. They've got Kylian Mbappe as the focal point. He needs 5 goals. 5 goals from Kylian Mbappe in this tournament makes him the all-time leading goal scorer in World Cup history.
Wow.
France has won the 2018 World Cup. They made the finals in 2022. It will be interesting to see what they do here. Erling Haaland is the main striker for Norway.
That's the guy I told you about. That's a giant on the field.
Yeah, I've seen him. I've seen his highlights.
Bounce off of him.
Yeah. Erling Haaland. Norway hasn't appeared in a World Cup since 1998, a tournament that concluded before he was born. So this is a generation of Norwegian players that has never been in a World Cup.
What did they play? I want to see them. I want to see him play.
Yeah, I'll put the schedule if anyone's interested in it in the Discord. And yeah, because I don't know all the exact days the games are off the top of my head. And Senegal, obviously the team that won the AFCON championship game, but is no longer the AFCON champions. It's the weird situation.
I want to pause real quick right there. For those of you who don't know that story, we talked about it on the Overtime Show a few weeks back. In the AFCON championship, Morocco and Senegal played. Senegal won. There's some controversy as to how that game ended because it was on penalty kicks. Senegal was protesting. They walked off the field, and then they were off the field for an extended amount of time. They got them back on the field. Morocco kicked the penalty kick, missed it, went into extra time, and they lost. So Senegal's the champion. They were celebrating. They did all the things, all the parades, all the commercials, the interviews, and everything.
Handed out the medals, everything.
Yes. And then the committee went to looked at the rule books. And they said, "Hey, well, actually, when you walked up the field, you forfeited. So we're going to need all this stuff back." And Senegal said, "Nope."
Good luck. and just to suggest that Norway is playing on a Tuesday.
Thank you.
Yeah, 6 p.m.
Thank you.
Thank you. So Senegal, always capable of an upset. They've got Sadio Mane, who is a little bit older now, but one of the best wingers in the world. And Iraq is also back at the World Cup for the first time in 40 years. There's a lot of that this World Cup because of the expanded World Cup. It's also why we're into Group J, which is something that's never happened at a World Cup before. This one was also almost the group of alliteration. It's Argentina, Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. Defending champions Argentina are chasing back-to-back titles, which is something that's very hard to do. Until France made it back to the World Cup final in 2022, every World Cup champion going back to 2006 and maybe even beyond that has gone out in the group stage in the following World Cup.
Jeez. So
I don't see Argentina going out of this group at the group stage. No team has won back-to-back World Cups since Pele's Brazil in 1958 and 1962. Messi is going to be playing for Argentina. He plays now at Inter Miami in MLS. He's turning 39 years old during this tournament. He needs just 4 goals to claim the all-time World Cup goal scoring record. So it's a chance that it might, there's a chance that it might get broken more than once in this tournament.
Because Mbappe is what, like 28 or so, somewhere around there.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Jordan is making their first ever World Cup appearance, and Austria is one of Europe's most improved sides, and they have a legitimate threat to disrupt. Algeria, I don't know too much about, but they have a very strong defensive record as well. So that should be an interesting group, but Argentina should come out of that easily. And then Group K, Portugal, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Uzbekistan, and Colombia. Portugal, we talked about 39-year-old Messi. Cristiano Ronaldo is playing, and he's 41. They have some. Yeah, he's playing for Portugal, and he's 41. Which is just insane to me. Bruno Fernandes is in the form of his life for Portugal. Vitinha just won the Champions League with PSG. That really hurts me to say. This is Ronaldo's 6th World Cup appearance, likely his last. It's also Messi's 6th World Cup appearance. And for Mexico, Guillermo Ochoa's 6th World Cup appearance. Those are all records. No, he does not, Osmond. Luis Suarez does not play for Uruguay anymore.
Was it? No,
Count Baitula. Like Dracula, because Luis Suarez has a history, including in a World Cup prior to this, biting an opponent and getting kicked out of games. He has done this repeatedly. He did it when he played for Liverpool. He did it for Uruguay. I think he did it even for Inter Miami. It's pretty crazy. Colombia is the most dangerous wild card in this particular group, Group K, powered by Luis Diaz, who plays at Bayern Munich, and Uzbekistan is making their first ever World Cup appearance. And then Group L, the final group, England, Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. Harry Kane for England scored 61 goals in about 50 games for Bayern Munich this year. He plays alongside Jude Bellingham for England, who's one of the best young players on the planet, if not the best young midfielder on the planet. England has a genuine threat to be maybe ending their 60-year title drought. They haven't won the World Cup since 1966. Luka Modric is still playing for Croatia. He's 40 years old now. This is almost certainly his final World Cup as well. He led Croatia to the 2018 final. Not sure how the Croatians are going to do this time around, though, because there is a lot of age in that squad. Ghana has a very young squad, but they're always good at World Cups. And Panama is making only their 2nd World Cup appearance. England should navigate that group pretty comfortably, but anything can happen in a World Cup. If you were to ask me for the favorites, it's probably Spain, France, England, Argentina, and I don't really know beyond that.
And then USA?
Okay. I will say this. The US team has gotten a lot better than they were. But I don't think they're going to make it beyond like the quarterfinals. And quarterfinals is kind of iffy. It depends on who all they end up facing in the round of 32 and a potential round of 16. We're not good enough to start winning this yet because most of our best athletes go to the NFL or go NBA basketball or some of them to baseball. There's a real opportunity here for this to catch the imagination of some young kids in this country who decide they want to play soccer instead.
Right. They'll definitely finish in the top 48. I kind of got kicked out while you were talking about it. Did you mention Yamal for Spain?
Yeah, Lamine Yamal, 18 years old for Spain. He's one of the best young players in the world. He's been playing for Spain since he was 16. Maybe even 15. I don't remember his age exactly when he started playing for Spain. He's a superstar for Barcelona. He's a superstar for Spain, and this is going to be his World Cup debut.
Yeah, very interested to see him. I obviously want to see Norway. Love Holland, Erling, and the way that people just kind of climb up him and can't do anything with him. But favorites aside,
Mm-hmm.
if you had to pick the winner today, who would you pick?
Spain.
Wow, Spain.
I think it'll be Spain.
Was Brazil in your top five?
Brazil's interesting because they have a lot of really good players in their squad, but there are a lot of aging players in the squad too. And they brought Neymar, and I don't even know if Neymar is going to be fit to play. And it's kind of like one of those things where you just don't know. They also have Carlos Ancelotti as their manager, and he's a legendary manager, but in the club level and the international game and the club game are very, very different. Okay. So I'm not sure what all he's going to be able to do with Brazil. It will be interesting to see Brazil in this tournament for sure.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the oversight there. We're going to have Adelia back every week to do updates and kind of summaries of what's going on in the World Cup. Because, again, the biggest event in the world, if you're not watching it, you need to. Even if you don't like soccer, you think, oh, man, it's boring, I don't like that, whatever, you will be captivated by watching these games. It's an incredible sporting event. And if you're just into competition, you're into sports, you've got to watch.
And I might clip this, you guys can use this as reference later when you want to be educated and you're talking to somebody, you can be like, yeah, Kylian Mbappe, he's gonna break that record.
If anybody wants a more in-depth thing, Ferris and I did almost 4 hours on the 12 groups combined in 2 episodes of Starting 11 over on Good Friends Better Rivals.
Yes,
there you go. Check it out.
Right.
Are y'all gonna be? I mean, I don't want to put any pressure on y'all. Are y'all gonna be doing any like watch-alongs or anything?
Yes. We're doing a lot of watch-alongs starting tomorrow with both games.
All right, there you go. Check it out. Good Friends, Better Rivals. Thank you, Adelia.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.